Hi, welcome to the market alert for Friday, the 23rd of February 2018. So yesterday in the pound, the market moved lower, it then moved back up and then back down, stopping out this trade. But then we had another one that continued to move higher. Now, in the daily chart, we can see that this market is turning over. What we mean by that is that prices have been making lower highs here and lower highs here as well. And it's crucial that the market at some point does this, and if it fails to do this to change the trend, then at the moment this market is moving lower. And what with all of the Brexit talks this weekend, I'd expect the market to retest the 137.64 level at some point going forward over the next few days, because it certainly looks weak here. The market's also below the 20-bar average there as well. News today, we can forget all of that because the wheeling out non-entities from the central banks, and yeah, nobody there to be concerned about. And as I've said before, the market seems to be ignoring all of the news at the moment. So in the Dow yesterday, the market moving, actually before I start with yesterday's main session, as I look in the pre-market session, the market just piled it on yesterday. We had the shakeout at 2 AM on Friday morning, and the market managed to claw its way back, and it was up already 400 points in the pre-market session. And then when we got to the main session, we had this buying bar. It was hit by selling until we got to this bar where we see prices coming off the lows. I've warned of this type of price action many times. When it comes off the lows like this, you know they're buying in. And as the market starts to move higher, it's free to go. It stays above the 20-bar average. Nice sort of channel there all the way up in this market. You can see there. And eventually it breaks, and then we get the unwinding of the move that we saw earlier on in the pre-market session and also the day session as well. So yeah, there's definitely a move in the market to try and get back to the highs. There's no doubts about that. And here you can see the market's trying again to move higher. There's a bit of selling coming in here, and this bar here, this green one, which looks like buying, is in fact some selling coming into the market. If you look at the volume, you will see it's massive compared to the previous bar and the previous bar's range. In this bar, the range from the high to the low is greater than this bar's high and low, which indicates that there is some resistance to move higher, because given the amount of volume, if it had been all buying, then the market would have moved higher. Simple as that, and it didn't. And then you see the effect of this selling coming in there as the stops are taken out, and the market comes back, get a retest here, and on the overnight the market, it has started to move higher once more. And in the daily chart, this is how the bigger picture looks. So what I'm going to do here is to remove these lines here, and let's just drag these out so we can see what's going on. What I've done here, which we did yesterday, was draw from this high to this low, which gives us these two areas of resistance, and the market is currently at the 62% there. This is the bigger 62 from this high to this low. Again, so in order to get through here, the market's got to really drive, and then you've got the high of this bar to contend with, as well as prices start to move higher. So again, keep an eye on these three areas if you are long during the day. And if the market gets through here, then we're going to see resistance here, 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 where we've got the selling bars, and then obviously ultimately the all-time highs. And the question is, will the market manage to get back to the all-time highs? The crucial area is missing off the chart, so let me put this on. I'm just going to delete this. So let's just mark up the 76% from the recent high to the recent low, and this area here is the one that you want to watch. So if the market drives through here, watch 25,839. Very important area of resistance there. That's the one to keep an eye on. Let me save that. as there's no news out and main economic news and just central bankers, or even well, I'd call them, I wouldn't even call them central bankers personally, but that's another matter. But they've got all of these minor central bankers coming out today and speaking, and no doubt that's going to give them the excuse to pump the market to the upside there. In the implied volatility, well, this is also indicating at the moment that the market's likely to move higher, down from 1645 to 1571 for yesterday as well. Meanwhile, in Bitcoin land, looking a bit weak at the moment. So we could see this though. We drew in the trend channel, get my teeth in, and the first area is going to be 38, 50, 61, and of course ultimately the 76% retracement. See if the market heads down through these as it starts to form a potential bottom there before it turns around and moves back towards the upside. But I would expect certainly to see this come back at least 50% of the recent up move, because that's the way the markets work there. And then just before we finish, let's have a quick look at the yields. We've not looked at these for a while. The market has put in, if we go to 1 year, yesterday the market put in a high, if I can find it. You have to look in the bottom right for this. It did actually put in, I can get there you go, 295, 2.95 was the high yesterday for the yield. And don't forget, on the 5-year chart, back in 2014, the high that we have there is 3% for the 10-year. So a bit of a problem in the bond market still, giving up its, or part of letting some air out of the bubble, shall we say, is what's happening there. Right, that will do it for this one and for this week. If there's anything to report later, I will let you know. Other than that, as ever, stay warm. A bit of an Arctic blast on the way over the weekend and next week. So as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.